Welcome to the Three Body Narrative. मेरा नाम है प्रैडी हूं मैं इस पॉडकास्ट का डैडी खाएगा कैंडी
Wow.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ. I don't know how I got past that with a straight face. I didn't. But yes, welcome to the podcast. We are your hosts, Pradyum, Aaron, and Naeem. And we are here to talk to you about one of Bollywood's finest movies, Gunda. So, I guess we start every podcast episode by talking about the synopsis, but for this, we're actually quite stumped because there seems to be no plot for this movie. I guess if we have to sum it down, it's just the narrative is all about a random coolie who inserts himself in the middle of a gang war in the streets of Mumbai and I guess exacts revenge after tragedy befalls his family. Tragedy that I suppose he invites upon himself. So guys, we've watched this movie. I can't believe can't believe it was actually made.
We watched this movie so that no one else will ever have to ever again.
Yeah, let's be honest. To anyone who's actually watched this movie, kudos. I think you deserve a medal of honor, a medal of bravery.
And so do we for including this as one of the first movies to be reviewed on this channel or podcast. So kudos to us as well. I don't know what we were thinking when we included this as one of the movies we wanted to review.
It wasn't we.
Yeah, sure. we had a voting.
Yeah.
Majority wanted to watch this.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So let's start with our ratings of this movie. We'll rank it or we'll rate it out of 5. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I wish we had a negative rating scale
to be able
to rate this movie. But I mean, I'm sorry, like I can't even give this a 0.5. I think the movie runs for about 2 hours 15 minutes or 2 hours 30 minutes, out of which probably at 30 minutes is a good portion for spent on the various songs they have, which make no sense absolutely, just like the movie in itself, which has no proper storyline or development of character, anything. There's nothing there. It just starts and then it ends.
But okay, so there are obviously movies which are bad, and there are movies which are so bad they're really good. Is this? I thought so when I gave it.
Yeah. You going into this movie, that was my assumption, that it's that bad that it will be at least fun to watch. But 10 minutes in, it's not even like, I think even 10 minutes also is quite like a higher on the scale. I think maybe 5 minutes in, I was already like, oh my god, what are we watching? Like, why do we have to watch this? And I think the first 10 minutes are all of those things that you kind of have seen on YouTube at some point, or you've seen memes of those or Instagram or something like that, and those have made you laugh at certain point. But watching it within the movie in itself just felt so out of place, so disconnected. I just couldn't wrap my head around what this movie was about. So I would give this a 0 out of 5 or a 0 out of 10, because honestly, like if I could go negative, I would go into negative, because this movie is absolutely bonkers, like, and not in a good way whatsoever. Like it's just terrible, absolutely.
I think watching movies like this make us wonder how come we can't be movie writers, and because I'm pretty sure this movie might have done decently well in the
Maybe
box
if
office.
we were writers back in 80s or 90s, we would have managed to do something.
Now we'd completely be screwed
now
over.
I don't think this works. Like, so I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely this does not fly in this day and age that we are living.
I think this is one of those movies. Going in, I saw the runtime of just like 2 hours or 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and I was like, that's not too bad. This is one of those movies which makes it feel like it's 4 hours. Like, I think beyond the first half hour where you've already seen that, like you said, on the internet, um, across various shots and reels and stuff like that. After that, there's a whole load of nothing that happens. I probably would give it 0.5 out of 5, and the reason for it is there's just one thing that I actually liked about it, and that was the fact that this was the first movie in a long time where I saw that the villains actually did something. Like, they said something and they actually executed it, and literally
Yeah.
executed it.
All of the villains, whatever they said, they did it. Like the, I think the villains were on point.
Yeah.
Had they been given a good script to work with, perhaps they could have done a better job. But oh my god, like, okay, we'll just dive deeper into that as we kind of get over the rating. So, what about you, Aaron? How? I think I know where you're going with this rating scale, but go ahead.
To anyone listening, I
Yeah,
mean, Adam's not even. First of all, if people thought that I didn't watch too many Hindi movies, Aaron's like even lower. I think he only gets
yeah,
dragged in by Naeem mostly, but otherwise, if left to his own accord, I don't think he would watch half the things.
yeah. I mean, this was a movie that was without any warning because I've not seen any of those so-called Instagram clips and shit, so I had no idea what I was getting into. But damn, that was bad. I think,
That was
uh,
bad.
yeah, probably still, maybe till the end of the month, I'll probably still be cursing Naeem for suggesting this movie. But yeah,
Oh, honestly, I don't think he did. I think I did.
okay, then it's you.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably the best actor in the movie was that monkey that was there. Because there was some emotion in that fellow. But yeah, I think if it comes to a rating, I probably have to give it a 0. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was bad.
Okay, let's talk about. I suppose it started with one of the best things ever, and for the life of me, while yes, the dialogues and the intros of the characters were hilarious, I could not stop laughing at the fact that they were in on the tarmac of some random airport, which quickly changed to some
A
random truck.
seaport.
Yeah, a port, which also became when that guy was screaming "bulla bulla," which also
Jungle or something,
yeah,
right?
it
Yeah.
became a
Yeah.
construction site where there are monster trucks in the background and everything. So I was like, oh, I was laughing my ass off.
I wonder if like they forgot to kind of review it or something, or whoever was editing the bit kind of was high when he was editing it and just ended up putting those backgrounds by mistake.
No, but honestly,
Um,
I saw a reel where the actor who played Bulla was interviewed, and he said that I saw the cast, which at that point Mithun was a big star at that point. You
Forget
had
about that point. Even now, when I look at the star cast, and I'm like, it's got Mithun, it's got this guy who plays Bulla or whatever. It's
Shakti
got Shakti
Kapoor.
Kapoor. It's got what's his name? The guy who is like a chief minister or whatever, and then he kind of dies.
Ah,
He's also known for like his comedic chops. And then um, the guy,
yes,
the Kale or whatever, the guy who's got his back. So like these are very well known villains in the 80s and the 90s in the Bollywood
yeah.
spectrum, right? Like, and to have all of them together, uh, along with Mithun, who's like
No,
one
but
of the
what I'm trying to say is
bigger.
even the director was someone that was quite respected back in the day. That's what he was trying to say.
Is
That
it? Oh,
yeah,
I don't
it's
know
like
about that.
no. So he said that the director was quite respected, and that's why he took on the film. But when he went there and he saw what was being done, he was like, "What the hell did I get myself into? I made a huge mistake." Kind of. that was his emotion, right? Uh, but fortunately or unfortunately, that probably put him in the spotlight, right? Because I mean, that guy probably is now known for his Bulla character a lot more than his other stuff.
I don't know. I mean, he's always been a very good villain
Hmm.
in general. I think I wouldn't kind of put him in there as only for like I know him because of Bulla, but I'm pretty sure like some other movies, especially with like the Khans that I've seen him. I think he's there in Sarfarosh if I'm not wrong.
Wasn't he
Uh,
then Judwa? No, or was that someone else?
no, no, not Chudwa. I don't think he was there in Chudwa. But like a lot of these, I think Bandhan or something, he
Yeah,
was there in.
he's quite a recognizable face, and even
Yeah,
for me who doesn't watch a whole lot of Hindi movies, I mean, it was a familiar face. So yeah, I think he's done kind of okay for himself. Probably not the most when it comes to characters. Maybe he doesn't take the most versatile characters, but with the roles he's given, he does a pretty good job. So yeah, he
Uh,
was good.
this sort of reminds me. So I've heard from someone who's in the film industry that you have these actors who have their dream projects that they want to do, but in order
Yeah,
to facilitate that dream project, they have to agree to do a project that the director wants or a producer wants. So that's the kind of
yeah,
movie it felt here. It's like these guys wanted to do some other movie, but in order to do that, they had to pay some penance or some penalty. So they're like, you have to act in Gunda.
yeah. I think probably something like that, or maybe like a contract as to how many you need to do a certain number of movies for a production house or something like that way. And maybe time was almost running up, and like this is what we've got. So yeah,
Like, yeah.
but yeah, it was very surprising given the cast that they had. All of them agreed to do the movie, but yeah, probably their hands were tied. Yeah,
Okay, let's talk about the deaths.
actually, you were right, Raj. So Judwa, he actually did star in Judwa before
Huh.
this movie came out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he definitely and he went on to do Surya Vancham and he did Sarfarosh and all of that movies. So he's definitely like I don't know how much of a role this specific movie played, but I think he had done enough big movies before this as well to kind of be
No, yeah, but
famous.
like honestly, for him, I can't picture like imagine you're him and you're sitting down reading the script and every last word he has to say, ah,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Oh my god,
it's hilarious.
it's such a degrading. Like even okay, cool. Like these guys, maybe to a certain extent, you say that because they're supposed to perhaps be part of other projects, they kind of give into this, right?
Hmm.
But what about Mithun? Like in the 90s, he's already like a superstar.
Yeah.
So, what is on the table that kind of convinces him to do this movie once and for all? Like it's insane that he would agree to this kind of a script to begin with, or at least like that's what I would think. I don't know.
But
Uh,
talking about Mithun, his character has no reason to come and interfere with Gunda business.
well, he feels righteous in terms of being there for the. Well, at least in the port, he wants to help out that poor guy.
The
Or
port, yeah.
yeah, at the port.
He's
But I think he kind of.
he come first
Yeah,
comes at the tarmac, isn't it, with the helicopter? That's where he first pops up, if I'm not mistaken. Where he
there is
hits
something
someone.
where he says
the
like,
first is where he gets that Kala Shetty guy captured by the cops, right? Wasn't that
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
thing?
So
is it?
what's a coolie doing in an airport tarmac? Is my first question because that's where the helicopter is. That's where he captures him because I remember him punching and then the camera goes around and then he's standing there with his red
Yeah, but
scarf.
he initially, probably the initial chase, he must have seen the whole assassination of that guy, and then yeah, how he reaches the tarmac that they left to imagination. But yeah,
But can we appreciate Lambu Ata's speed because his brother dies 5 minutes before he arrives.
Yeah, yeah. A couple of people die five
yeah,
minutes before someone else arrives in the location. It's something else. But okay, so we're done with the rating scale, right? And
Yeah.
So are we getting into the story now, or
Yeah, I mean, what is the story in the
I
first
mean
place?
the
Yeah,
the
exactly.
story, right? So
Yeah.
songs in this movie, right? I couldn't withstand anything. I really like. I was so irritated 15 minutes into the movie that I was like, I am not wasting a single minute on any of these songs. And I literally like, usually I see if there's any sort of storyline happening within songs at least to kind of then pause
Yeah.
or just. This one, I was like, there is no story happening during the movie itself. There is definitely no story happening during the song. So I'm definitely skipping it. None of the songs I kind of paused at. This movie, if released today, it would be crucified not only for not having a story, but for the way it deals with some of its female characters. Oh my god,
Yeah.
absolutely! Like it's absolute bonkers in terms of the way they've written the female characters into the movie. Initially, it looked kind of promising with like Gunda's. I mean, not Gunda. Sorry, with Mithun's
Shankar.
sister.
Shankar's sister. Yeah.
Shankar's sister. I thought maybe there's like a some sort of a character development there or something, and then I don't want to say anything more because, oh my god,
I
events
think
just
my first instance of like this is not okay was obviously Bulla's sister, where
absolutely, yeah.
in the middle of a chawl in Mumbai, where
On top
people
of
don't get on top of a wheelbarrow or a cart,
yeah,
right? I think for that time I was amazed for the amount of skin being shown.
absolutely right. Like I never thought that much of exposure would be in a movie that came out in the 90s. Like in my head, it was like none of this. It was just about always like those weird sounds coming and like, oh, no, bachao, mujhe bachao, kind of thing. And then you never really see things on the
Yeah,
screen. Or
you'll see the person dead and with blood, which
yeah,
is
yeah,
very bright red in this
yeah.
case.
Here they decided we will show you the process of how the death happens or something like that. And it was very weird to watch. Absolutely like I don't
So,
I
so let's the story is what? So Lambu Atta is hired to kill Bulla. That's the first sort of crime story, right? That Lambu Atta is brought in to kill Bulla, but
the
then
minister, right? The minister calls him. Or
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. The
yeah.
minister calls him, and then what happens is that he kills the sister instead.
Is that how it
Yeah, Lambu Atta kills the sister, so then Bulla kills his brother.
Yeah.
and then he kills his
Oh
henchman?
wait, no.
No,
Is
the
it
henchman is the first one who
henchman
gets
is the
killed.
first one, the Bulla, that guy.
Yeah.
Then he kills the brother first,
Brother. And then he
Yeah.
kills
And then the
his
sister.
sister, and then he kills Lambu Atta.
Lambuata.
Yeah.
And then
Which, by the way, the names are hilarious. The names are very well thought. You have Lambu Atta, Pote, Chutia, which is hilarious. You have Bulla, you have
Ibbu
Kale,
Hatela.
Ibu Hatela. I think Shankar's
You
the
got
only one with
Kala
the same
Shetty.
name. Kala Shetty.
Kala Shetty. Like, okay.
And you have the other guy also, who is the pimp.
Ah, yeah.
What was his name? Lucky something.
Lucky.
Lucky Chitku, something like that, right?
Yeah,
Lucky
something with a
something,
yeah,
Something with the
something
C.
C.
Yeah. So I mean,
Lucky
it's
Chalu.
Chitti, I
no
think. So something like that. Yeah.
Lucky Chikna. There we go.
Chikna.
Chikna. Of course, it
Lucky
had to be
Chikna.
Chikna.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, but okay. So that's the events in which it happens, and then comes Shankar into the picture.
Yeah.
I
After
do
the
not.
minister, no, not after the
No,
minister, before the minister
just
gets killed.
as no, the minister gets stabbed, and then while the cops are chasing him, that's when he
Okay,
intervenes.
wait.
And
Now, because it's been like I think 2 weeks, I don't know when, but like this movie is so bad that I don't want to keep any part of it in my memory, right? As
Exactly.
it is, my memory is bad. So just to recall things, is the first introduction of Mithun at the port where the fight is happening?
No.
No, it's not.
No. Catching Kala Shetty was where he was, I think.
And that's when he said, and that's when the policeman talks to him, and he's like, "Oh, thank you for doing this." He's like, "It's my duty as a citizen. I don't know
Yeah,
So
how."
he
they
just
said, they were saying
randomly.
you should have been part of the police and all that.
Because his dad's a cop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So
Okay.
he should have been.
So the
But
minister, the Kala Shetty kills the minister and immediately is apprehended by
Shankar, yeah.
Mithun's character. Okay. Okay, got it. Yeah.
And
Cool.
then comes that fight in the port where he beats and then gives the money to some random person because that old man wants to fight for some reason.
Yeah, no, for some reason, no, that
His
made
daughter's
sense. Come on.
wedding or
Ah,
something.
yeah,
His daughter's wedding is there and he's getting a lot of money for it. So
Yeah.
either you win and you get money or you die and you still get money. So he's like, as it is, even if I live and make like work, I'm not gonna get that kind of money. So might as well like try and either somehow by luck, if I win it, then I get the money. If not, at least my family gets the money once I'm dead, and I'll be dead for once and for all. Like I don't want to come to the port and work every day. I'm tired.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I am tired of this work. I'm too
This
old for this shit.
8 to 6 job is killing me or whatever.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay. Now that all done, let's talk about. So the whole premise of the women is Shankar's sister, Shankar's sister's friend like Shankar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That song, which obviously I don't know where it happens, where the sister and Mithun are dancing, where he gets drunk.
Ah.
That's the first song, right?
Yeah, where she's like, instead of getting drunk on alcohol, get drunk in my eyes or some shit like that.
The sister says it.
No.
No, the friend.
Sister's friend. Oh, thank God. Oh my God. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I definitely.
But before the song starts and she does that whole blinking thing with her eyes, that was like mental. That was
What
crazy
thinking?
shit.
You didn't watch the song, so I'm sure you wouldn't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, he
I don't think I'm gonna go back.
it basically hypnotizes him into
okay.
wanting.
Into falling in love with her.
Yeah, which is creepy.
Like she
right.
goes like this and like that or something like that.
Right.
Oh, but the speed at which she was blinking was
Oh
not.
wow. Okay.
It's like Ganguly times 100.
Nice. That's a good explanation. Interesting.
Yeah. Now that's all happening. Now, what is the story? The story is now happening on the villain side. Is what, like Bulla, because he does not like Shankar, decides to hurt him.
So okay. Once that whole chapter with Lambu Atta or whatever is over, now he's the big dog, right? He was always the big dog, but now he's completely claimed all of territory and there's no other competitor there.
Yes.
Right? Now he's the big dog. So while doing what he does, organizing those fights or whatever, you've got Shankar who meddles with this thing and then threatens more this thing, right? He threatens him. I think that's what they kind of take offense to in a certain aspect. And I don't know if that's when they set like a time for him or something, or they say your time has not come yet or whatever.
Yeah.
At this point, though, they're still not actively pursuing him. He does something after this that kind of.
I think he kills one of them. He definitely kills either Ibu Hatela or Pote, one of them, and then that's when it starts triggering.
Yeah, so the father.
Yeah.
The father gets involved in one of the tussles or something goes wrong.
That is once the sister is killed and then the father goes to the lead inspector or whatever.
No. That's a different thing. There is one at the roundabout or something where he's getting.
Yeah, that is when they decide that since that Kala Shetty is in jail, that they'll go and start taking bribes or whatever you call it from
and that's where Shankar intervenes.
Yeah, because they were beating the shit out of his
dad. Then it starts escalating from there onwards.
What is the whole thing of the time? They give him like, you've got, like, your time will come. That's basically it.
Yeah, basically they're not killing him, right?
That was at the port, I think.
Is it?
Wasn't that?
Yeah. They kind of joke
Yeah,
around
when
about
they
it.
had the leopard or whatever as a pet, and then they're
Oh
like, we're
yeah,
not
they
going to
have the
keep.
leopard as a pet. Shit, I forgot about that.
They're like, your time has not come yet. Right now, we're just enjoying like I think seeing you go through things or something like that,
Yes.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And then eventually we'll put an end to you or whatever. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
And now with the sister, what was the plan? To pimp her out to make her seem like someone who's interested and wanting to marry her, but to kind of pimp her out and rape her?
I I think the first plan was that they
Hmm.
wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And then probably pimp her out. I think Lucky Chikna, whatever, was in the grand scheme of things, because
Yeah.
the guy they get in to pose as her savior is
Yeah.
partnered with Lucky Chikna or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's
Correct.
basically to help with Chutia's manhood first.
Chutia, not Chutia. Chutia. Yeah.
Okay, this is Chutia
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sure.
and then it's supposed to kind of move into the second part of their plan where they pimp her out or whatever. I
Yeah.
think that's what it was supposed to be, but things happen in a way
The
where
the pill from London worked too well.
yeah, oh my god, that scene. First up, okay, like coming back to that whole thing of one of the goons uh, randomly just, first of all, she's out in like nowhere. Okay,
Yeah.
apparently he kidnapped her or something and brought her out in the broad daylight somewhere to, I don't know, do what with her. Okay, and
By the way, the doing what thing, you can either show that they're doing something or you don't show it. But the what they showed was the most cringiest, most awkward, most embarrassing thing you could ever do, because it was, yes, body on body, but it was, I don't know what it was. I can't describe. It was touching without actually doing anything.
which
It
is
was like how Mithun's fight scenes were, where like the arm is like a mile away, but you're just supposed to put two and two together and like, okay, that's happening.
yeah.
Yeah. So because the Hasina scene was next
Yeah.
level.
But wait, before we get to that, so this whole thing, right, where it's unfolding, the goon is going at her, and suddenly out of nowhere, this guy comes to save her and stuff like that. And just like that, because he saved her,
She falls in love with
she
him.
falls in love with him. And the next frame is that they're getting married to each other, like within probably a couple of days or something. I don't know if there are months going by, but it does not seem like it.
The
It's
time
going
lapse
at
is
that pace.
better, is faster than
It's not really
Game of
explained.
Thrones.
So
Yeah.
we don't know what's happening where.
Maybe that's where Christopher Nolan got his jumping from timeline to timeline, I guess.
Yeah.
The next sequence is obviously that person getting married to this girl and then taking her home, which
Yes.
turns out to be surprise, 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 Bulla's residence. And it's Bulla's brother is supposed to have uh, what is that called? Like Suhagra? That's how
Yeah.
they.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
first
yeah.
night
Instead
with
of
her, right?
actually the actual groom, it's supposed to be Bulla's brother Chutia, who's supposed to have his first night. And Chutia, for some reason, I mean, not for some reason, Chutia just happens to not be able to get it hard. So Bulla has a
Yeah.
solution for that. He's got like an international pill that apparently will help resolve all Chutia's problems.
Was that the case? Or yeah, it was sex goalie, right? That's what it was
Sex
called.
Gully, I think so,
Yeah.
yeah.
He explains it when his brother dies. No, Bulla, I got the pills for you from London and all that, he says.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for clarification, he does not die because of the pill. It just
Yeah. Exactly.
if a guy is wondering if that's what happens. But someone
Yeah.
does die because of the pill. It's the girl who dies because of the pill. I don't know what he's packing, because by the end of that whole session, the girl is dead.
Yeah.
Which is quite sad. I mean,
Yeah. It
for
was
one,
quite surprising because I did expect Shankar to come and save the day. So
intervene.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
yeah,
not her being dead, but I thought she'd still be alive, but really battered and bruised, and then he'd come and save her and do all of that. But
yeah. Yeah.
But when that happened, I was like, shit, they actually did that. And
Even when Bulla's
gave it a
sister was
0.5.
getting like
Yes.
Lambu, whatever, even then I for some reason
Yes,
thought
Lambus.
this is where the introduction happens, and this is where he'll come and save her. Like Mithun will come and save her, and probably this is his girlfriend or something like that. Like I don't know.
Girlfriend. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know. And next thing is she's dead. Okay, no, I was like, okay, I got that
Lamba
one.
kar diya, no? That's what he
Yeah,
says.
yeah. And before Bulla gives the pill to his brother Chutia, he's having his own good time with someone named Hasina, and for some reason he has this dialogue by the end of it: "Hasina ka pasina nikal diya" or something like that. I don't know what it is, but
And
oh my god,
yeah,
the
which
lines
which
in this movie.
which kind of leads us to a weird climax because Hasina eventually supposed to have his kid or gets pregnant with Bulla's kid, which
Which she does
he
tell him that
nonchalantly just says abort it.
yeah, immediately, like right
Yeah,
at the beginning. He's like,
imagine that in today's world. Yeah, in today's world, the audiences would be rioting the streets. Yeah, but which she doesn't, and that leads us on to her baby being adopted by Mithun after she dies.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's all a mix because uh, the girl hands over the kid to Lucky Chikna because she works
Yes,
in the
correct.
same this thing as him or works
Brothel
for
of
him or
sorts.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Chikna takes the kid and he doesn't know what to do, but he's scared that Bulla will kill him if he finds out. So he puts the kid in a trash can of all places, uh, and that's where Mithun, while just
Fines.
walking by, finds him and takes him or her. I don't know. I think into
Let's talk about some of the fight sequences because there are
But
a
because
couple
I
of
think they named it after her sister, his sister.
is it? So
Think
it
so.
must have been a girl, I guess.
yeah, I think so. It might have, yeah. So let's talk about the fight sequences because some of them are hilarious, right? You have the police officer and Shankar's fight sequences where there are 20 cars that line up
Oh yeah,
with police officers,
yeah.
but there are no police officers to be seen when he's starting to run around chasing him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Empty
what was it?
cars.
What was the plan there?
I don't know. It's the same
I have
kind of
no idea.
sequence.
Yeah.
Because in the end, when they started fighting with also cops, they tried to show us that 4 cops drove all those 20 cars. So no idea what they were trying to do there.
Yeah, I don't know. There's probably AI involved in there back in the 90s somehow.
Yeah,
These
they
are all
so
Remote control.
someone took a green screen and just copied
it
it.
looked like that. They moved in a very straight line or something like that. And it's like I'm like, where are these cars coming? Who gave the budget to this police department to have these many cars?
They
That chief
clearly didn't
minister.
have a whole load of budget because even the explosions would always happen behind the car. Nothing ever exploded.
Poor the chief minister, while he was dying, they probably took his thumbprint and just put it on multiple documents, and they're like, "Yeah, this budget is passed. This budget is passed."
and the next sort of fight scene. Okay, before the next sort of
Wait,
fight
wait.
scene is
Okay, before you get to the fight scene, though, okay.
yeah,
So Chutia does what he does with the girl, right?
yeah, yeah,
Right, and then he's like, "Oh shit, this happened. I didn't expect it to happen like this."
yeah.
Now what to do? Like, and he decides, "I'm gonna bury her in the jungle."
Oh,
Okay. Now he goes and he buries it in the jungle. Somehow the monkey gets a hold of her jewelry or Mangal Sutra, or I don't know what it is, but like he he takes that to where to the home where Shankar is seated
Shankar
at
Singh.
Shankar.
the doorsteps, right?
Yeah,
And looking at that, he's like, okay, maybe my sister's in trouble or whatever. And then he walks like 4 or 5 steps behind like this one patch of green, and her body's right there. How is that? So is his house in the jungle? Like, I didn't get that. 5 steps later, his sister is lying there. He's like, and she's already dead by this point, right? And he's like, okay, okay, maybe this time I give him the benefit of doubt, and he's like, "तूने किसने किया तेरे साथ ये?" or whatever. Who
yeah.
killed you? Whatever. Like, okay, Still okay. And then he looks up and Chutia is running away. Like, he's right. Chutia is number one Chutia. Because after disposing, first of all, he brought the body all the way to where the girl stays. Right behind that
Yeah.
one bush. Dumps the body there. And then before like the brother could come, he's still doing like he's not even buried the body there. So what is he doing there? Like looking at the dead body. I don't understand.
Yeah. Okay, and then obviously the father dies as well, which is
In the same
Yeah.
forest.
Is it? Oh,
In
shit.
some forest. He was walking home when that guy killed him, so I'm guessing.
Yeah. Now the girlfriend also dies. Okay, and I
Yeah,
don't.
that is the most saddest of them all. Okay, because technically she had nothing to do with any of this.
I like any of this.
Any of this. She had nothing to do with any of this. Okay, she just wanted Shankar so bad. That's it. Like her mistake is that she wants Shankar really bad, really really bad throughout the movie.
Moral of the story: don't be desperate.
Don't be desperate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And oh my god, she gets murdered in the middle of a market. Okay.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, Mitunda is running. I mean, Shankar is running to her again, grabbing her. And at this point, before this, he's had a face off with all the remaining villains, and he said, "I have set a time for each one of you,
Yeah. Yeah.
each one of you, right?" And now he's giving time to these people to kill whatever remains of his family. Okay,
Correct.
so she gets killed in the
Yeah.
market,
Yeah.
and then she's lying there, and he comes to her and he asks, "Who killed you, bro? What the fuck? Are you seriously that dumb? Like, you don't know who would have killed her? Like, what the hell? You've given people ultimatum that you're gonna kill them, and now you don't know who's killed your whatever she was because you were not ready to marry her or whatever
Yeah.
at
Nor
this
were
point of
you
her life."
really
Yeah,
involved or really liked her in any
yeah.
way. Yeah, that was a bit. I was like, how and why?
But he was raising a child with her somehow. So,
Uh,
damn man,
yeah.
he's got game.
So the last sort of fight and the last bit of the movie is the fight between Bulla and but before that, the way Chutia dies is not to the pill, but the fact that the what the pill is supposed to be helping is no
Yeah.
longer functional.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They
Shankar
parted
chops it
ways.
off.
Yeah. Yeah, and he says something also because when Bulla comes to see him and he's actually just dead like that, he doesn't notice the lying penis, I'm guessing, on the floor initially.
Thank God that he was dead by that time. I was half thinking in my head that now next scene will be him in Bulla's hand and he'll be like, "Bye, mera kaat diya," or something like that, and then he dies or something.
Yeah,
Thankfully, that didn't happen. That was the only thing left.
that was a quick
Oh my God.
and swift,
Yeah.
painful death for Chutia, who, by the way, uh, was quite resentful of Bulla just before that scene.
Yeah.
He was praying to the god, saying that I hope something happens to Bulla and not me or something like that. And then he's like, where's the best place to hide? Oh, yes, the bathroom.
The
And he
bathroom.
is right there. He's standing right there. Oh, that was hilarious. Okay, the last scene, though, is the fight between Bulla and Mithun. And my god, the CGI is next
Again, they
level.
have vehicles which are
Hmm.
autos this time around. Okay, a few more people than they had when they had the cops, but the
Yeah,
number of autos are like millions. I couldn't count at all. I wish I could, but like maybe AI can help with that. But absolutely insane that there are so many autos.
But where were they driving to? There was like nothing in front of them, nothing behind them. It was just guys waving their hand out while they were driving. It
they
was
were
random.
scouring the world for where Shankar is. Like, where is Shankar? And Shankar is right there in front of them. He's standing in the middle, but they can't see him. Maybe he had the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter, so they couldn't see him. And
or
then again,
maybe they're only going one way, so only one side they can see. Like,
so that's
Yeah.
one part of the fight. Now there's the
yeah,
second part.
yeah,
All of these goons are holding guns in their hands. All of them. All of them have freaking these massive machine guns or whatever they are in their hands. All they need to do is shoot at him. Okay. But I don't know what the philosophy is here or what they're thinking. is they all decide to use the gun to fight, like from a melee, and they're like, "Here, let me try and hit you with this end of the gun." Like, and then Shankar's like, "Haha, sucker! I'm too good when it comes to melee combat. Screw you!" And like,
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you
But
guys have
how
not got.
could they shoot? How could they shoot when he was rolling on the ground? Yeah, it
Oh,
was too difficult. They had to
dude.
use it as a clown.
Or
Like,
maybe they spent all their budget from the autos and cars that they didn't have budget for ammo. They were
yeah,
like,
the guns they
just
got,
get the
but they forgot to get the. They didn't have the money to get the ammo itself. Interesting. The bullets.
yeah.
What was awesome was he was hiding behind the car, but the bullets were still hitting the side of the car that he was hiding on, though they were standing on the opposite side. I was like, oh, new technology.
Oh.
This
Okay.
movie. Oh
And
my
then there's
god.
the part where Bulla gets the child out.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. What was that about, dude?
He
Like,
throws the child in the fucking sky.
but then Shankar obviously jumps to save the child.
He does a triple somersault in the air before catching him. It's like, I have no idea. And then because he's got the child in his arm, he's letting Bulla beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But
This
then
guy.
what happens? Where does he leave the
Oh,
baby on the side?
then the ultimate intervention happens when my favorite
The
movie cast came.
monkey comes into play. It's like, yeah.
He
That
throws
was
the baby
awesome.
to the
I was
monkey.
like,
No, so
okay, at
that was
least
the
the
funny
monkey
thing.
will bite him or do
So
something, but
so
no,
here's the
he
funny thing.
catches
Okay?
a baby 2 times his size. I'm like, wow.
So I'm watching this, and this whole scene of the kid being pulled up and him handing it over to or throwing it at Shankar, and then Shankar getting beaten. This is the scene
Yeah.
I watch, and then I get called, like my mom called me or something. So I walk away for like a minute, I think. Okay, and I come back and they're still fighting in the desert, and I can't see the baby anywhere. I'm like, bro, where did they leave the baby? Did they leave it in the desert somewhere just randomly, or what the hell happened? Then I had to rewind and I'm like, oh, the monkey came to save the baby. Interesting. Nice.
Monkey came. He just threw the baby at the monkey. The kind of
Yeah. Thank God the monkey was good at, had some cricket practice from before.
yeah. Oh my god. And I guess the movie ends with that, right? Him just dying.
Bulla, right?
Yeah.
Bulla
Yeah.
died. Yeah.
Bulla dying. Which, oh my god, thankfully there was no sort of epilogue or whatever post that, because obviously all his family's dead, so he can't really. Who does he go celebrate with?
Yeah.
But okay, I mean, I get that he's a good Samaritan, but were all the deaths Bulla's? Were all the deaths Shankar's fault?
I think so.
I would say so, right? I mean,
Yeah. So two things, right? One, okay, he thinks he can take the fight on against these guys. But the more important aspect of it is, why are you giving them time? And you're openly telling them, I've set timelines for you. So it's not like you're dying right now, but each one of you will die at some specific interval. So between those intervals, whatever you want, you can do, because like the end for you is the same thing. You're gonna
Yeah.
die at in my hands, right? So
By my hands, yeah.
by my hands, yeah.
In
And
my hands would be a little too weird thing to say to a villain.
in my hands, by my hands, in my arms,
In my
by my
arms.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but like, is this stupid? Like, a lot of this can just be avoided if, one, don't take the fight on,
Yeah.
because clearly you can't be everywhere at all the time. You have a lot of people who are counting on you, so just do what you need to do. Okay. Um, Secondly, if you've taken it on, please don't give the villains time to have a go at your family. Put an end to them right then and there, because you know you can take them on.
Yeah.
Okay, so absolutely Shankar's mistake in, okay, see, being a good Samaritan, like, I get it, like that's the whole synopsis of the movie, that he wants to protect the people who can't protect themselves and all of that stuff.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
great, nothing like it. But be that person without bringing wrath onto your own family and like making sure they are eradicated as a whole and there's no one left. Forget about your own family. Poor girl who's not from your family just is in love with you, she also dies because of you. So it's just absolutely crazy bonkers that they've got. I mean, he brings it on himself or his family rather.
Okay, out of all the deaths that have happened, which was probably the most brutal one?
Most brutal.
Yeah, because I think Ibu Hatela is the one who gets decapitated.
Yeah, but that also he kept getting pounded on the head and going into the ground. That was something epic.
I think brutal from the perspective of like still feeling the pain. I don't know, like once your head is chopped off, how much of pain you actually feel. But
But
like
the other,
when your organ is chopped off and
yeah,
everything else is intact and you're still alive, technically, you're bleeding out for a long time and you're feeling that pain, I guess. So for me, I think Chutia's death was quite painful and kind of this thing. But I mean, equally, see now I don't know what Geeta goes through, because whatever she goes through, kind of
yeah.
yeah, this thing. So from
Wait,
that perspective,
is Geeta the sister? Or Geeta
Sister,
the okay,
sister.
right,
yeah.
right, yeah. Okay.
That last one is like she gets basically she gets stabbed, right?
Stabbed. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, brutal, yes, from that perspective. I don't know if she gets stabbed from both ways, but she gets stabbed. Sorry. Yeah, she just gets stabbed. Okay, let's leave it at that.
Yeah. Actually, for a long time, I thought the whole Chutia sex pill, I thought that changed him. I thought that was like a more transgender pill than it was just a simple,
So I
I
initially
suppose.
thought he was transgender.
Yeah, because he is very feminine in his approaches and everything. Is that what the
Yeah.
sex pill is?
What do you mean?
I don't know
That it
because
just brought a lot more testosterone to him,
Oh, never know.
right?
yeah, don't know
Yeah. Okay.
because the
No, it
lines
is
that they had after that also kind of throws you off.
no, but I'm
But
reading reading Wikipedia and it says Bulla gives Chutia vitamin sex, a likely reference to Viagra. Okay.
I thought it was
For
Viagra.
him, yeah, it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
same here. When he said like there's a volcano building up in me and stuff, I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh wow. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yes. So, anything else that we really need to discuss? I think more than a discussion. I think this was predominantly a recap. We just kind of spoke about what happened in the entire movie
No,
because
I
we
think there's
had
a lot
to.
Yeah,
in terms of his dad as well. Like the dad literally corners the police staff, chief of staff or whatever,
Who
and says
is?
like, "How can you side
Yeah.
with them and stuff like that?" And you're like, "I like, why are you putting them yourself in that place?" Like once, especially he
Hmm.
says these kind of, like he hints at
He gets the
being that kind
bribes
of
and he's a part
bribes
of
and
the
yeah,
Gunda thing. Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
So even I was
and
like, this is not
why
it.
are
Yeah.
you like, you can't take on him, bro? Like leave it be. Come back, get him killed through your son if you want. Why do you want to like get yourself involved like this? Like, okay, never mind. He's also dead eventually. So at the end of the
Yeah.
day, everyone is dead except for Shankar and the kid.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I
Thankfully,
don't know
they didn't
where
kill
the
the kid.
kid is. Probably the kid the monkey ate or something like that.
Yeah,
God knows.
no, the kid is
Yeah, I
Tarzan.
come
No?
back. Yeah. Huh?
The kid is Tarzan.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the way Shankar's jumping
This is
around
this
and
is
with
the origin story of Tarzan in India.
correct.
Not the
Mowgli.
Wonder Car.
Mowgli.
Not the
Yeah.
Wonder Car. Mowgli. Oh yeah, Mowgli too.
Mowgli as well. So all right. So I think that pretty much sums up Gunda. We've watched the movie. We're not going to watch it ever
There is
again.
no summing up this movie. There is nothing to sum up. This movie, this if you ever watch this review of or this episode which covers what this movie is about, please understand we did you guys all a favor by watching this for
And
you. Please
recapping it
ever
in this episode itself because you
yeah,
probably now know everything that happens.
that's all there is to know about this
Yeah.
movie. Yes.
Yeah.
Do yourselves a favor and don't ever watch this, even if someone pays you to watch it. Unless it's
Yeah.
like $1 million, and then you just play it in the
Yeah,
background.
then you might as well just keep it on, man. It's 2.5 hour thing. I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
watch worse. All right, so I guess that's about it for this episode of the Three Body Narrative. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
To those of you who are listening to this episode on the audio on the audio version or on Spotify, please do follow us. You can comment now on Spotify as well, which is a cool feature. So let us know your thoughts on this episode. But if you're watching this on YouTube, then hit the like button, share, subscribe, and do whatever it is that you do with all of the YouTube videos that you normally like. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, especially a lot of tears that went into this watching this movie and recapping it. So we would really appreciate the support. But I guess until then, we are your hosts, Pradyum, Aaron, and Naeem, and we'll catch you all soon. See you.